Hello, everybody. Once again, I'm going to do three prior CSS battles. If you are a subscriber to the Plus plan, Plus, see this upper corner, you get access to these prior battles, which is kind of fun. And the ones I'm going to do today are from July of 2023. Here's July 19th. There's July 20th and July 21st. They are I guess the 21st here is some kind of a switch. I guess that would be a toggle. It's like the beginnings of a toggle for a dark mode, light mode website widget. Very flat. And this guy, I don't know what he is. Maybe some sort of a plane, or I don't know. Maybe it's meant to be something that I just don't know what it is. And then this guy sure looks like a monitor. So let's start with the monitor from July 19th. All right, I'm going to use my blank template to begin. I think that there's no particularly hard part to this one. I like to say, well, let's do the hard part first. None of this is real hard. That said, I think that this is two elements and then a conic gradient on the background. So maybe the way to start is with the conic gradient on the background, because I just want to have that line there and I want it to be correct. So let's do that first. We'll do conic gradient, and the preferred technique for me is to do a of 75%, which is equivalent to 270 degrees, and then that orange, dark orange, medium orange, and then we're going to do it at 10 pixels, something like that. And I guess it needs to be taller. Some even number that's going to reduce nicely. If I do 10%, does that get me? Maybe that's good. How about 10% here too? How about 5%? Okay, and then if we move this over, so let's actually make this a little taller first. 2, 3, just so it's taller than that guy has to be, and then we can move him over. So the implicit numbers here are what? 50%, 50%, auto, repeat. That's what this background really is, but we don't need all that because it's the same thing. But if we just provide the offset, then it will move over. And so we can begin pushing that over in some reasonable manner. Now, I've tried with percentages and it doesn't work the way I want it to. I'm not sure if there's a technique for that. That's something I'm sure I will investigate at some point, why that doesn't work. And 190, 110. All right, and that's pretty much it. So that's our complicated background. So these could be different numbers. If we could make that less characters, why don't we do that? By doing that, we can do what, 50%? Yeah, sure. That's a few fewer characters. We do need the 190. 190 doesn't reduce in any nice way, so I'm not going to worry about it. All right, P tag and another P tag. And I think I'm going to do what? Margin auto, 0 auto. So those will be centered to start with. The second one is less wide. And to get at that, I'm going to use the P plus P, so the sibling selector, and say width 100, something like that. So that's what you get like that. We've got margins on here, so let's correctly do our margins. 3, 4, 5, 5, 7, 7, 75, 75. All right, and then this height of this first one, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okie doke. And this one at present has that margin 0 auto, right? So if we know the height of that, can we use that and then adjust those numbers? Maybe. Margin top. Top is 10, 2, 3, 4, 3. Is it 30? Okay. And then his height is probably 15 or something, maybe 20. Yes, I'm aware of the border radius. So if we do that margin top of 30, can we put that, if we do that margin, what, of 30 auto? We get the same thing. So we can put that 30 auto on the main element and still get what we want. So the height is going to change. So let's make that a var. Var dash dash h, or a default of 150. And that works. And that way we can shrink this down to dash dash h. And we're going to need, do we think they're all the same border radius? Maybe. Maybe not. May not be. They are. Well, that's great. So that's, I think that's at 100%. This is a straightforward enough figure that I don't have too many doubts that I'm going to be able to match it with just a straightforward amount of code. All right, so we'll minify him and unit replace and resubmit and see what that score is like. See if that's better. So yeah, that's a better match. I'm doing better than I used to, even though I think I've submitted this one several times. This is one of probably the first ones that I did when I had the Plus membership and I really started enjoying CSS Battle. All right, next. I remember this one giving me a lot of trouble. How to work out the means to do this crazy shape. And now it doesn't quite scare me as much. I think about doing it with, I mean, it's symmetrical bilaterally, right? So one side is flopped from the other. So that makes me think, you know, 2 elements, display flex, and one has a transform x of -1, right? So that probably will work pretty well. So let's start with that. So p plus p is what? Transform scale x -1. Now you can't see that yet. Ha ha ha. Let's put that background in. And let's put display flex on. And we are obliged to have a width. And let's put in a background. Let's actually start. We'll start with a background that makes some sense. We'll do a linear gradient from the upper corner. We'll start on, I think we'll start on the white. I don't know if that's the best thing to do, but that's what I'm going to do first. What we're going to be coming in, what, 315 degrees, transparent, 50 pixels, and then a white. So that's the idea of that. Is it -15? Is it -45? Is it 45? We'll flop these numbers. Yeah, so that's fine. So let's make this wider. So do we want to handle the blue? Where do we handle the blue? Is the blue on this element? I'm inclined to say no. That means I need to put it on the body, and that means I need a gap. So let's do that thing. So we'll say, okay, so let's make this height 200. Oh, interesting. So actually, I think I do want the 135, and these numbers are flopped. It's just a little easier to think about if I do it that way. All right, let's get these margins correct. So we'll make this height 200, and move these margins down a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. 50. Sure. And let's add a gap. So that gap is the spacing between the elements in the flex row. And that's a little too small. How about 30? Maybe it's 40. 40 looks right. All right. Let's make it a little wider. 2, 3, 3. All right. So that's a start. And have I inadvertently gotten that 50 pixels? Is that correct? So that means the height of this 170, a little less tall. So now I'm thinking, are the engines, do those need to be on the element? I think I'm going to say they are, and if that's the case, then I need to change the height of this background. So I'm going to say it's 0, 0. Uh, 100 pixels. Or rather, repeat X. So that's the short way to do it. And you're seeing that repeat because that's the background now. So let's make it wider. 110, 120, 130. Great. And really, that could be what, 100%? Yeah, that could be 100%. That's a better number, and then we can lose that space when we need to. 110, 120, 130, 40, 50, 160. Okay. And then he's repeat X. And that's that part. And then I think for the background, that's a single radial gradient, isn't it? It's an odd one. Circle, if we know that gap is 20, then we know it's this dark blue, 20 pixels out to transparent. Okay. And if we say at 50%, 100%, circle at 50%, 100%. Where is it? What have I done? Actually, I'm not sure what I've done. Oh, something has gone skiwampus. There we go. %, 50%. Interestingly, that's at 100%, that's not doing what I expected to do. Okay. Why am I surprised? I don't know why I'm surprised. In my head, I'm creating a repeating. Oh, I'm expecting it to behave differently, and I'm wrong. So let's get back to circle at, and then we'll modify that by changing its position. So 50%. we're just going to put that guy at the top. Like so. And then what I need next is the blue. So the blue I can do. So it I guess what I'm thinking, what I was thinking, and I was wrong, is that I could set that blue and have it continue downward and just do a single gradient. I'm less excited about that. But I currently can't think of any better way to do it. I can do that circle independently. And then, but I still need to do a linear gradient or a border on the paragraph elements. All right, this is enough hemming and hawing. Too much hemming and hawing. Let's do a conic gradient. As we saw, I'm pretty happy with conic gradients. So let's do that same thing we did before, 270 degrees or 75%. And this dark blue, 0. And we're going to change that at, and I think we know what that at is. Is at 40 pixels. Yeah. And the default is not quite tall enough. So we need to move that over. What's that's going to be? 180 pixels. Over, yes. And then down. I still want to use percent, and I still can't. 50 pixels. So that's, we're getting at what I was thinking of. I'm going to do that 150 pixels, and then no, I'm going to do that 200 pixels. No, 300 pixels actually. 300 pixels, and then that starts to repeat. So that's no good. There's an ideal number here, and then if I move this downward more, 6, 7, 6, 50. There we go, 250. All right, so that's pretty good. Pretty good start. That's a lot of moving parts for that. And we said we were going to do, I think that the rest of this is 2 more radial gradients. So the next part is a radial gradient, and I guess I will do this to start with. I'm going to do it in pink. Why are we doing it in pink? Well, because I just want to see it. I want to see it. Circle, and I believe it's that same dark blue, 20 pixels, transparent. Circle, trailing comma. There it is. Okay. I said it was new in pink. Let's do it in pink. So let's do put it at, to start with, put it at 0, 0. And make it 100 pixels wide and 40 pixels tall. And no repeat. So let's put one of those, and I think we need an at in this case, 10 pixels, 10 pixels, is that right? No, that's not right. 20 pixels, 20 pixels. Yes. So we're gonna move this down 100 pixels, 120, 30, and then over 10 pixels. And if that aligns, then we're happy. We're not happy yet. To 25 pixels. So that's close. And I guess we don't need it to repeat, or do we? Either way, we need an additional. So if I repeat, yeah, so the question is, if I change the width of this, am I unhappy? Do I need to set the width of this? Yes, I do, because I want to localize it. 3 pixels. Or indeed, do I just need to do, just to change the position? And that still puts it where I want. Maybe I don't care. Maybe I don't care about the repeat. I was thinking that I could repeat it, but I guess I can't, or I don't want to. And this is less code, so that's fine. Yeah, and I know it's on top of what we've got there, but so let's plop another one in and then move it over another, what, 40 pixels, making that 65, and that's it. And then we plop this background on top of these, and we've got it. That's pretty good. One thing we can do, so do I need, I've got these ads, not super crazy. So there's a lot more optimization to it. The fact that we're using the same circle here as for these two means that we could make an optimization as far as the circle 20 pixels. So do we want to do that? So this is the common thing. So I'm going to turn that into a var. Call it G. Yeah, I'm going to do it. So that means I can put in this var G, and it still works. And then I can replace these also, these also with the same thing. So I'm going to start by doing this, and then you can see it, and then do the motion. So I'm doing it on top to start. Let's just use those same variables. $100, $200, $230, $240, $250. And then the next one is over another 40 and 50. So I can get rid of these guys now. So that's too much code. And then I can put this on top of these. So we've got a little shared code there, right? Which cuts down, I added a slash, breaking everything. CSS is very brittle about that, and it's hard to see that. This is why I was so terrified of CSS for so long, because of these kind of gradients, because they're hard to look at. If you make an error in it, it's hard to tell. Browser's a little better about telling you that. Okay, so that is our solution. There's a lot of code here. Not super excited about that. How does it minify and unit replace? It's all right. I would be surprised if this is, and then I've inadvertently, I made a decision to minify and broken the CSS on the paragraph tag somehow. Some of this code is bad, and so how can I fix it? Well, I can simply undo. There we go. That's one way to do it. If I unit replace, okay, that still works. I'm going to submit. So I'm very curious about where, so this is an example of my plugin failing. It's probably going to be somewhere in here, huh? maybe because of the, so I'm going to minify. It should break. Okay. So now I got to read the code. So why is this breaking? I've done the minification, but the minification broke. In RG, conic gradient at, space. So I'm looking for the colors, and there it is. So that's a problem. And then probably it's another instance where the colors are up against a value and not wanting to be right next to each other. Here's the second one. And I think that will do it. Let's all submit. All right, is that it? Did I do it? Is that good? And that's a new high score. All right, so I did better at that one as well. Lots of submissions on this one. I remember being very, very, very frustrated. Let's look at my very first submission. What did that look like? Load the code. So lots of gradients, all in the body. Oh, and with a div. Yeah, not entirely up there's code there for a div that I'm not even using. So linear gradient, lots of different stuff, and I've definitely come a long way as far as what the code looks like. So improved. Part of this is, looking back and being able to see, hey, what kind of changes am I making? What kind of style changes am I making? So that's great. That's the second one. Here's the third one, excuse me. Okay. Things that are pill-shaped tend to make good elements. So let's start with this guy. All right. What do we got? We need to set the background of the body. And this background is a radial gradient. It's a circle, and it'll be transparent. We'll call it 40 pixels as a guess, and then yellow, 0. And now let's use margins, and we'll actually put the margins on this element. 0, 40, 70. Probably wrong. That's all right. 5, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Great. 40, 50, 51, 52, 52. Always fun when they throw in a number that's not quite regular. Border radius. 50 pixels. Oh no, why would it be 50? It's 120, so it would be 160 if it's that perfectly a thing. So then I need to move that over. All right. So that's part one, huh? So, strictly speaking, I could put this moon shape, a crescent moon shape, on the body because I'm able to look through to the background. But do I want to do that? Maybe I do. Yeah, I'm going to put the outline of the moon to start with on the background. So that's going to be another radial gradient. And it's, the second color is that purple. The first color is this yellow, 20 pixels. Let's call it 0. And we can't see it because it's dead center. So let's hide it. Let's hide the paragraph. So it needs to be a circle. And then, so how little code can we do to move that over? Maybe it's another minus 80 pixels. Let's see. Yeah, so that's pretty good. We like that. We will take that. So funny enough, so that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Let's put that paragraph back. So those are the two parts. We've got a circle on the background, and this is on top of this. So let's put another circle, a radial gradient, another radial gradient rather, and I'm going to do black circle, black, transparent, comma. And is that going to be another 20 pixels? Maybe. And what if we move that into place? Now, I am inviting peril because is that going to align and then cover up some of the other yellow that I've got going? Maybe. We'll find out. So let's go minus 50 pixels. Great. Minus 60. That's a partial. And then vertically minus 10 pixels. Close. How about minus, okay, so that's it. I think that's it. So that'll be the purple. And it looks like it's not interfering. So that's pretty clean. One element, a radial gradient on the background, and a radial gradient, two radial gradients on this element. And that gets us the shape that we want. In production, you would probably not do this. You would not count on an element aligning perfectly with a background like this. Like, you couldn't deploy this and rely on it unless you really locked down the HTML that was in that code, in that page. Be that, and again, my minifier code, breaking, that works. I don't know if this is much better than any of this. No, this is better. These are all, I'm doing better on these than I did in the past, and that's a good feeling to know, to have. I think that's it. So that was, again, July 19th, July 20th, and July 21st of 2023. Pretty fun. Very enjoyable shapes. I look forward to doing more of these. I have done, there's plenty more to do. I think there's 400 more to do, 300 and some, like a whole year's worth. But thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Have a great day.